fishing news is brought to you by Navionics, Okuma, Yozori, Evinrude, and the Star Island Yacht Club Shark Tournament.
Seemed like gale force winds on New Jersey's opener, the fluke season on May 24th. It blew in holiday crowds as well, but there are certainly some fluke to be found at the Jersey Shore. I'm Jim Hutchinson with a New Jersey Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine, and while the conditions might not have been ideal with the crowds and the wind and everything like that, it certainly wasn't impossible. In fact, we got our first registered doormat of the 2019 season over the weekend. Thomas Johnston, he had that big fish behind Atlantic City, 10 pounds, registered at Absecon Bay Sportsman. Now, Thomas also won the Summer Flounder Division in Dave's Grand Slam tournament, that customer appreciation tournament that we talked about last week. Good fish. Now, Dave said he likes the tide stage and the weather in the weekend ahead, and he forecasts a pretty good bite, especially in those back bays, Atlantic County, Southern Ocean County, and Cape May County. It's a great little bay contest this weekend. I'm here at Breezes on the Bass River. The RFA Bass River Classic will be held this Saturday, June 1st. I tell you, it's a pretty good tournament benefiting the RFA and also the PBA. Best thing is $50,000 grand prize to that angler catching the largest fish, the largest fluke, over 11.5 pounds. There's also a $1,000 bonus for the RFA member with the largest fluke. Captain's meeting is right here at Breezes on Friday night, May 31st at 6 p.m. I hope to see you here, and I hope to see that 10-pounder of Thomas's going in the boat this weekend. In Summers Point, just a little farther south, you also have the 21st annual Brutus Fluke Tournament. That captain's meeting is also Friday night at 6 p.m. at the Egg Harbor Township Elks. You can pick up a registration at Point Tackle, Summers Point Marine, 24/7 Bait and Tackle, or over at Fanatics in Ocean City. Now, I mention those bays because it's prime time for summer flounder, fluke, in the back bays right now, especially in Cape May County. Out back, Gary Bates of Lansdale, PA, bucktailed this 5.8 pounder right off his dock in Avalon. Didn't have to take the boat very far, didn't have to take the boat out at all. Caught that one on gulp. Check that 25-incher in at Avalon Hodgepodge over the weekend. Now, bucktail and gulp will also get you some fluke up north on the Raritan as well. Pete Perez let me know he had a 6.8 pounder just up that way. Brought that into dockside bait and tackle. Now, Pete mentioned that you should probably check those bellies. He brought that fluke back, found another 8-inch baby fluke in her belly, and also found a pretty decent sized sea robin. You check those bellies, might adjust what you're using as far as baits or colors. I know quite a few bucktail manufacturers, Spro and S&S and Magic Tails, all have those colors that gear in on sea robins when those fish are on sea robins. Now, Pete said he was looking for a dream boat entry, maybe a sea robin, but also don't forget the minimum weight for fluke in the dream boat is 7 pounds, and it's wide open right now. We had a big fish that was brought in from Long Island, but in New Jersey, we're just getting on those grounds, so I hope you guys can get on them. It's a subscribers only tournament. Remember, 38 issues of the print edition of the Fisherman magazine, $29.95. It's the best contest deal going. And it's multi-species tournament. We've also got sea bass on there as well. In fact, Mark Capalbo of Dumont, New Jersey, had this 4.63 pound biscuit that he weighed in at Eastman's Sport and Tackle. Currently sits in first place. You folks getting out there on the Black Sea Bass grounds, if you're fishing on one of the party boats, don't forget, maybe put one of those big fish aside. Don't let the mates cut that one up. Bring it back and weigh it in. But I would suggest, if you're looking for some of those big humpback sea bass, hit one of the party boats. They're going out there and getting on some of those deeper snags. I know the Big Jamaica had a 5.5 pound humpback over the weekend for Leslie Hodovan. And also, Captain Joe aboard the Jamaica 2 let me know earlier this week, Bruce Casagrande of Trenton had a 5.6 pounder. I believe that was on Wednesday's trip. Another interesting party boat catch of late came over the holiday weekend for John Zima aboard the Voyager. Check this one out, a 3.55 pound cunner, or a Bergal. It's a pending world record catch, not just a state record, but a pending world record catch. Go figure. And I'll tell you what, Bergals that big are pretty good eating as well. My regrets to junkfish hunters Nick Honicheski and Al Ristori Always looking for that Bergal world record, but that belongs to John. Congratulations, John, and the crew of the Voyager as well. Another dream boat potential right now is weakfish, and especially in the southern part of the state, we're getting some decent weakfish reports. Rob English kayaked his way into a good one on the Mullica over the weekend. And also, Rowan hockey standout Cam Conrad. He picked up a good tide runner earlier this week on a bucktail with white gulp swimming mullet on the teaser. Good indication of somebody fluke fishing and catching that weakfish bycatch. I tell you, if more folks were focused on trying to catch some of those big weakfish, I'm sure we'd get some more reports. Monster bluefish are also popping up all over, especially up on the Raritan, where Phil at the tackle box called them mutants. And in the beach, along the beaches as well. Easy casting distance. Walt Fisher out of Staten Island, he told me that I've got to expect an 18.1 pound Dreamboat entry sometime this week. A Dreamboat Challenge fish for sure. The paperwork coming later on in the week. Nice fish, Walt. Another impressive catch on the Raritan Bay earlier this week comes from Joe Goliath of Staten Island, appropriately named for this Goliath striped bass. 54 pounds on live bunker. Heck of a fish there, Joe. Those big fish are out front too, not just on the Raritan where a lot of folks are live lining, but a lot of those big fish are stretched out along the central Jersey shore as well. North of Barnegat, up to the Shrewsbury Rocks. Stephen DiEugenio, he kicked off the Memorial Day weekend with a 43 pounder. He told me he caught that 1 mile north of Lavalette Tower. He was dragging a green mojo on some of the marks he saw on his fish finder. Now, one of the things that Steve said is all these fish were down deep, big schools of stripers and big pods of bunker. Nothing up top, but it was those mojos down deep that did the trick. Mojos, you want to drag some of those trolling plugs, the Rapala X-Rap Magnums, or the stretches, of course, the Tony Majas. The greens have been working. Make sure you prepare to adapt. All right, if you're taking out some of that trolling gear to get down deep, but also prepare to live line or maybe throw some top waters as well. I expect that bite with the bunker getting busted up top to really start anytime soon. I have an update on our Black Drum battle standings as well, but first, let's check in with our Pocono Outdoors guy with a little Sweetwater striper report.
Hey Jim, well, we survived the holiday weekend and all the tourists. Mother Nature was good with some great weather and some great fishing. Had a chance to go out firsthand and experience some of that explosive topwater smallmouth bite this weekend. We managed to get into a couple really good fish. Here's Josh Taylor with one of the smallmouth. It was a really great day. Now we also found some of the stripers working up really close to shore. Now here's a small one we got, but there was a whole bunch of big stripers working the alewives right up against the shoreline, probably in 5 feet of water. So guys, that bite is really on if you're going to hit the lakes. Now keep in mind, water temperatures are still cool. We found spots where the temp was 65 degrees up to 72, and that's still plenty cool for those stripers to roam pretty much the entire lake. It'll take a few more weeks to develop that thermocline, and we can really target them later on. Now just another note, Eric Goodstell told us that the walleye bite is starting to turn on, so there's a lot of fish to go after. Get out there and get yourself some. From Pennsylvania, this is George, your Pocono Outdoors guy.
Thanks, George. We are, of course, at the halfway point in the Black Drum battle. About time to show you the current leaderboard with 1 month to go in the contest. Now, to start this week, Tom Klein of Mullica Hill was sitting in second place with a 49 pounder that he caught and registered on May 18th. He weighed that one in at Hands 2 Bait and Tackle in Cape May. But the man currently in the lead right now is John Ruff with a 58 pounder that he caught on May 25th. Weighed that one in at South Jersey Marina. Now, John came down from Springtown, PA to fish the Big Bay, where those big drum have been all over the place. Now, as I am doing this report, I've been told, however, that a way slip is coming from Bob Huff. Bob Hoff, not Huff, but Hoff is going to knock out Huff from the first piece, a 69.4 pounder that he weighed in at Jim's Bait and Tackle late last week. Again, I'm waiting for that entry. As soon as it's updated, I will post that over at blackdrumbattle.com. That's, of course, where you can go to get all the information. If you're going out fishing this weekend and you haven't registered for the Black Drum Battle, do so. It doesn't matter what you're targeting, but if you catch that 60 or 70 pound black drum, you want to make sure that you're registered. We have some great prizes from Penn, Full Ahead Sport Fishing, and of course our friends at Unsinkable Polarized. Again, sign up over at blackdrumbattle.com and get in on those monsters. Finally, for those looking to get offshore for tuna, Saturday and Sunday is looking pretty good according to NOAA. 2 to 4s and relatively light winds, and there are a few monsters in the mix offshore as well. Patrick DePasquale landed this 81-incher, an 81-inch bluefin with some buddies last Saturday. That action is only going to intensify. In fact, our weekly offshore fishing report is back in the Fisherman magazine as of the June edition. That June edition is on newsstands right now. Go pick that up. But be sure to follow along with the Dreamboat standings, the Black Drum standings, of course, all of our weekly reports. Make sure you check out our feature, too, about striper tagging with Navionics and gray tag fish research. We posted that video earlier this week, but the full story is in our June edition of the Fisherman magazine, probably on your coffee table right now. Take a look for it, and I hope to see you out here in Bass River this week. And if you come out here to Bass River to join me for the RFA Bass River Classic, do me a favor, bring along some of that gnat spray. Catch them up. We'll see you again next week right here at thefisherman.com.
Win the incredible Steigercraft Evinrude Lowrance Grand Prize Boat Package and more in the Fisherman's 2019 Dreamboat Fishing Challenge. Get the details now at thefisherman.com.